Hello, my lovely humans. Welcome back to my channel. Happy Friday. Feeling much better this week than I did last week. Filming this on Monday under the light of the beautiful full moon. Haha. We're going to talk about some Diddy drama updates. And I am not a legal professional, okay? Don't have any professional background in that, but I am literate enough to read public access records, and I will link to everything below to validate what I'm saying. I just am a legal, kind of pop culture legal aficionado, and want to share that with other, law nerds. If you're a part of the EBD community, and just help spread that out. So I missed a lot of things in December. I haven't had like my internet and laptop access for a few weeks. So it made doing things rather difficult, but I did get all caught up on stuff. So we're going to start with the tealess tea bag, the nothing burger, that I was really excited about because I saw like headlines and the rumors of the Diddy meltdown around the holidays about not getting let out for the holidays. And I was like, oh, okay, let me get in on that. That sounds interesting. And I went to, I think, 6 different websites to follow up on that lead, and every single one of them was just nothing, where allegedly Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, had a meltdown that he got out of via meditation in prison, and then went on to describe what he had to eat for New Year's Day. Surprise! I'm sure you're going to be shocked, as I was, that prison/jail food is not that good, and that on New Year's Day they did not have a spectacular meal that the former A-list celebrity would have been used to. Also, I learned this, I didn't know this, that he has 7 children and that the youngest one is 2 years old. Didn't know that. And they were having limitations of 4 people per visit, and the visiting times were shorter because the holidays are busier and everyone wants to visit during the holidays. So that's kind of I'll talk about it, I'll mention it. And moving on to the actual legal things that came up, I have some notes in front of me. The Judge S, I will put his name here because, again, trying not to butcher this man's name and the other names that are going to come up, but he made a ruling on December 9th about Diddy's motion from October, where him and his defense team wanted the Intercontinental Hotel video, which portrays P. Diddy brutalizing his then girlfriend Cassie Ventura, and they did not want that brought into the current massive amount of cases and charges against him, because the 2 main things that his defense brought up was, 1, Cassie Ventura and Sean Combs are the only people in that video, so no one else matters in it, and they've already settled the lawsuit with Cassie Ventura, so therefore it's not worth bringing this in. Like, it's not evidence against anybody else, and that case with the person involved is already settled and gone. The other thing that they tried to say is that it was intentionally leaked by the prosecution to CNN as a way to further ruin Diddy's reputation and impair a fair trial to the public. That is what they claimed. The prosecution said that was a completely baseless claim. The defense furthered that the reason why that it had to have been leaked by the government, aka the prosecution, was because there was additional information from the grand jury proceedings that were put in there, and only the prosecutors and investigators for their team would have known that information. So the judge was, dealing with that, and over the holidays, and he has a whole bunch of other cases that he's dealing with, and he did rule on December 9th, as I mentioned, and that was that he went against the defense, so he went in favor of the prosecution against P. Diddy, that the hotel video could be allowed in as evidence against his character and to show that he is capable and willing of being a brutal, aggressive person. But because the defense wasn't able to provide any specific things that were leaked from the grand jury proceeding, the judge asked for, okay, what was leaked from the grand jury proceedings that prove the evidence with this? Not only did CNN deny that the prosecution or a government agent gave them the information, they also refused to disclose their information, but they said that it wasn't the prosecution, and that the specifications of what the proceedings were or the information related to the grand jury were, the defense was not able to provide that. So according to the judge, they did not meet their burden of proof to have the hotel video thrown out. Then on December 12th, we have 3 new plaintiffs. So 3 more people who are putting separate lawsuits from the 200 other previous plaintiffs. They have an entirely different lawyer named Thomas G. Again, I'll put his name here because I don't know what that pronunciation is. But they are 3 separate people from New York City this time. And they have the same grape and essay allegations against P. Diddy. It's a very similar story to many of the other plaintiffs in the case, that Diddy gave them drugged drinks, and then while they were in a drugged / unconscious state, proceeded to R-word them and sexually attack them. All 3 of the plaintiffs are males who are currently going by John Does, keeping their identities anonymous for their safety protective reasons. And these cases are some of the most recent things that these allegations happened in 2019 through 2022, which especially the ones in 2022 and 2021 were in even the old New York statute of limitations. The statute of limitations for R-word and SA before 2019 was 5 years, but in 2019 those were increased to 10 to 20 years depending on the degree of R-word. So they're within those limitations, and that's also why in 2019 why more people were stepping forward, because they became within limitations. And as the plaintiffs are going by John Does, they are all male plaintiffs. And I would just like to, this is my speculation, my personal aside, and that is one of the claims in the Busby lawsuits, the 200 plus plaintiff lawsuits, he has claimed that that these criminal acts allegedly done by P. Diddy are sex-based crimes, but that would mean there was a targeted sex, and there are men and women who are putting these crimes, so I'm not really sure how that works. I know socially there can be other gender identities, but in American current legal law, it is male and female. So I think that allegation is going to get dismissed just because since both of them are there, it can't be targeted against one particular sex. Yes? Gotcha. Not the end of the video. I was going to put this up on Friday, which is when I'm filming today on the 17th, but there have been things that have come out earlier in the week, so this Diddy tea is fresh from the kettle, still steaming. Let's go. Lots of things have been happening. This is going to be put up on Saturday, so everything's still going to be fresh, but I need time to add it on and everything. The Diddy defense team just cannot get out of hot water and instead throw it on everybody around them. they have violated, according to the prosecution, recently violated the standing protective and sealing order, which says that anytime filings are made, if there is any identifying, since many of the plaintiffs are being labeled as John Does, etc., that any identifying information or specific information that could lead to the revelations of witnesses, plaintiffs, and victims is to be filed redactedly in the public court, and anything that has those details unredacted has to be sealed. And the defense is not happy about that. No one's happy here. We'll get into all of that. The defense is continuing to try to say that the relationship between Cassie Ventura and Diddy was consensual and between consenting adults. They have also gone on, I am not joking, this is in their filing, that the government, it just has a Puritan stance on things and are punishing Diddy for having a sex life outside of the norm. Yes, they are claiming that that this entire case is because of the government kink shaming Diddy. Continuing with their argument on consent, they watched some videos from Cassie, other victims, plaintiffs, etc. And the defense is currently, by court order, only allowed to watch the videos with police presence. It's currently in police custody. And they said that they digitally need those things. They have put forth a motion to digitally receive that stuff so that they can show that in the videos it displays consent by the people involved, and they want to be able to enhance the audio and visual, complaining about the grainy and blurriness of the videos in their current state, and that with enhancements and being viewed by their experts, getting the metadata, etc., that they will be able to undermine the prosecution's case, particularly that of sex trafficking. And they're also claiming that the videos show how sexist the prosecution is. Yeah, they're claiming that the prosecution is sexist because the sex trafficking and non-consent, coercion, etc., is manufactured just like the jury pool will be by the prosecution, because the sexism is that the prosecution is basically saying that women are not able to make consenting autonomous decisions about what they do with their bodies, and that by the prosecution's case presents it in a way that takes away the agency from women. Speculation. I don't know what that has to do with the males involved in this case who are also filing against Diddy. And I also don't think that the defense understands that consent means that it is free consent, that it is not forced through fear, physical violence, threats of physical violence, or from drugs or other encumberments by one partner to another. But the defense doesn't do itself any favors, because when it made filings about those videos, including the motion to have them sent to them, they included a lot of details, including identifying and specific information that could lead to the identification of the people in the videos, which violates a current standing protective and sealing order. And the prosecution was very quick to go, oh, no, you don't. So the lawyers were forced to refile a heavily redacted version for the public viewing, and they had to put their previous filing under seal. They made the argument to the government that by being forced to be so restrictive in what they can put out to the public, that it is allowing the government to manufacture a jury pool that is automatically against Diddy. And they have also said, and if you want to know, the filings were on the 15th of this month of January 2025, and that it is on document 130 if you look it up on like Pacer, etc. But yes, so they are not happy about their redactions and want the protective order to be modified, which is fine if they put in a filing for that. But you have to wait until the court makes a ruling decision on that and not just charge ahead, defense team. adding to my speculation that this trial is not going to make it in May is because of all the motion filings and mini trials to iron out the details are still happening, including in early to mid-February, the motion hearing for changing or modifying the protective order and sealing order is going to happen. So just because of all that, I just don't think, and because things constantly happen, like Busby, the plaintiff, the lawyer with 200 plus plaintiffs, he is still being investigated and going through his own things about whether or not he has been doing underhanded things to force the hand of celebrities, threatening, blackmail, extortion, etc. And with the continued thing of protection orders. So now we are all fully caught up on everything. Oh my gosh, the Diddy stuff just keeps happening. There have not been any additional things in Karen Reed that haven't already been brought up. I don't think. If there are, I will make a short about it. And I hope that you all have a good weekend, a good rest of your weekend, and I will see you coming up. Bye, my lovely humans.